If last week's supervillain 4 aggressive feet make the audience open their mouths, open your eyes. Seems like the filmmakers want us to frown. There are even scenes you can't watch. From introducing the Superman with the power, just like spiders, with the magical ability to spin silk, to the millionaire detective's heavy hobby, we know more about Joe Carroller and the virus that kills Homelanders. So what's interesting about the latest episode of The Boys? Please find out with me soon. Episode 4. Starlight shows signs of losing power. But this isn't the first time we've seen you can't use superpowers. In Episode 5, in the face of aggressive sheep, Starlight also can't support teammates. This makes an interesting connection to the movie Spider-Man, played by Tobey Maguire. When you couldn't pull the silk at will. Like the Spider-Man, wondering, I don't know how to live Spider-Man's life, or make a normal Parker Pider, our Supergirl. We're in a serious identity crisis, because you have to choose to be Starlight, leader of the Yellow Vest Force, or we'll make Anya's wish. If you're a Starlight, you're a symbol. He is a saint in the hearts of fans. The Fireblacker speech, though, made the clean image of Starlight, has completely collapsed. On the other hand, doing any, you are merely the possessor of power. Stand up for injustice. But I can't lead, or make a big impact in the community. Before the war is coming, Starlight is becoming more and more confused and awkward. But it's not just you who's having psychological problems. Joe Kessler is actually just an illusion that the buzzer created. It's like Bika. If Koi Becca is the good personality part, remains of the buzzer, Kessler represents evil. Or to be more precise, is the violence and desire deep inside you. Parasites that live in the body of the buzzer. Kessler's personality is getting stronger, and tend to gain control of his consciousness. Captain of the Boys. Many fans even commented, the rotting sheep's head that the key pen brought to Dr. Samya experiment represents the part of the brain that's being destroyed by fusion. You're 6. Higher, it's a metaphor for the struggle of two good and evil personalities to gain control of the pen's mind. This tension is pushed to the climax when Dr. Samya revealed a virus capable of killing Homelanders. It will also cause it to mutate, creates a stronger ability to spread land over the air than normally transmitted through body fluids like blood, saliva, and semen. So the virus is airborne. It's going to be a huge thing for all superhumans. Lucky to be Sal, the horror that made the buzzer wake in part by a round buzzer. I love as many people as Lion. And Kimiko could be in danger if that happens. It shows us the true nature of the boy. That this is not a film about subversion, superhero, or social criticism. It's the story of the crisis, the identity of individuals, and each choice will lead to a completely different ending. With Homelander, it's the struggle between being accepted, fetish, or just a freakish weirdo. Ati-chan, it's a fight of a real nature, that I want to be. I don't know if it's for the individual or the collective. Kimiko have been battling the past since season 1 to understand that I'm not a monster. Weapons for others to use. I'm struggling with OCD. Hill, learn to balance personal and family life. Newman is in the middle of a choice to hold supreme power, or do the right thing morally. And finally Frankie, people living in the sins of the past, or accepted as part of who you are. The billionaire lost both his parents as a child, was raised by an old housekeeper. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? I'm not talking about Batman, it's Jack, the Sherlock Holmes of heroes. However, I'm sure Tex Knight was inspired by him, from Cotton City, because he took the case. The secret base is the same as the best case. Every crime. The base of Tex Knight doesn't contain advanced technology, global positioning system, submarine, or airplane. It's a place for him to have fun. Heavy sex of yourself. Vietnamese book The One Han and Chani Theory. The day of Soden helps Superman open the door. Leads to check case, and become SF. It's very interesting. Who doesn't know this is a book? Date description. Seeking the satisfaction of desire through the wild parties of 4 men. France in 1975. The book has been directed. Pio Palpasoni adapted into a horror movie. It's called Salah. He also has an assistant who's chained to a corner of the room. You are so used to coming here, I won't say anymore. The focus of the day is healthy. Who is pretending to be the Witherweb? This must be a huge blow, and DC and Marvel, to turn 2 of the company's most beloved superheroes, become extremely bizarre. On one side is the sex-obsessed billionaire. On the other side is the Spider version. It's magical, so much so that his room was cluttered just like this scene in Spider-Man. It's interesting, even though this is the first time River Webb is officially launched, but he's been introduced all year round. The previous movie, if you look closely, Brian used to play video games, and the River Webb character is also present. Next to it, I also somewhat understand this line between the pen and MS. It's true that if the mall renew you, I use $50,000 to buy Rohit medicine, and the powerful spirit paralyzes the central nervous system, then accidentally crashed into the web, gives a silk release. You be in shock, and fame has not stopped. Safety keywords. Wither wants people to stop torturing themselves. Is Zendaya. If you're familiar with the Spider-Man version of the universe, the MCU is sure you're no stranger. Zendaya used to play MJ, right? I don't know what she thinks, but it's hard to imagine her mood after watching episode 6 of The Boys. Full sex act with Homelander. Night Challenge. Turn out to brag about his rich origins with that Trine and Firecaker. He talked about Angel. His family was originally black slave hunters. This is pretty cool because he told Huey, I own the original Bactum Hut, a book about anti-slavery in earlier times. The opposite of blame. It's like you're teasing Agan. Not over. He even boasted to the Firecracker about his family's wealth. It has existed for 11 generations, as tacitly despising the poverty of the Firecracker. It makes you confused and awkward. Many foreign fans commented that this is details that highlight injustice and inequality in society when the rich inherit. Even if this life passes away, the opposite side, working class people like Firecracker, there will never be a chance to be rich, no matter how hard you work. The real reason to check out Nike, recruited by Homelander and Sister Sex, it's because his family owns many private prisons. From here, the Steven Orville group can comfortably suppress, arrest, and make his opponents evaporate. You know, students like Jordan Mary, Android, and Emma and Genvi. They're also locked up in the family prison system. Actually, the Party of Tech Night. It's a meeting place for leaders, the giant corporations. In the words of Sister Sex, they're responsible for 38% of US GDP. With Newman's speech, it's all about showing the real face of the economy and society. That balance is becoming seriously imbalanced. When 1% of the world's population, they hold most of the national values. Higher than them, people are just tools of labor, creating huge resources for super corporations like Apple. XLBA leader had a way in the name of working for social goals to grow economically. The giants, it's not subject to any regulations or restrictions. Of course, Len is confused about this. This is the second time he's been confused. Shame and shame, in the face of so many big problems. Since taking over the reins, he was turned like a pinwheel, and just like the SG Stan once said, he's just a kid. I don't know enough about how the world works. No blame. Homelander's eyes as he watched Human glow with jealousy. After the speech is over, throughout all 4 movies, what we see most clearly in Homelander is that he's hungry, recognized and revered. Though, deep inside he was still haunted by the mother figure, and Firecracker gave him that. This action helps her realize 2 things. The first is to win the trust of Homelander. After so many rejections, despise, even a tool for Sister Set take advantage. To rally the community against Starlight, leading to being eaten near death. Firetaker now, it's officially become a puzzle indispensable of Homelander. And the second is that the Firetaker changed destiny. From the poor, a symbol in front of the people. In addition to being appointed as the new MC of the German news channel VN, she also has a personal account. There are millions of followers. This is an important step forward. Erase the self-doubt that we've seen before. When you talk to rich people like Future, it's basically calling for funding and support to help Newman take over the country, or killing Robert Singer is just a stepping stone. Repeal the Superhuman Management Act, paving the way for the army to have power. Under the supreme leadership, it belongs to Homelander. That means beyond politicians. The people in power who kill the entire economy. Flock Corporation are gradually perfecting their own army. However, some individuals have the power. There's a tendency to change sides in the coming war. Notable among them we have Adrons, who once saved my life, and recognize yourself. How much I want to do good. In a moment of boredom, Nyman visualized his head exploding, form an important highlight. It lit up hoping she'd turn the car around. Stand up for the boys. Most importantly, Sister Sex, who makes Homelander relatively upset. He lost face in front of all the guests. It's obviously a complicated character because you're smart enough to see the nature of the war. But the appetite for supreme power makes her true purpose difficult to understand at first. However, when the Sister Set reveals the reason for wanting to change by hand, social injustice, to create a hypothesis about who will be next, Get rid of Steven and stand with the Debeyes. Maybe the hostility of Homelander will motivate her to switch sides in the next episode. Then why? In this scene, Alphabet with overlapping titles, fresh form confirmed. Vlog Corporation entered the lives of all Americans. From fields such as entertainment, medical media, defense security, down to food and medicine. Know where to turn, not find a way Chen foot in to make money. The other details, like the stress of the abortion ban in the United States, is also brought back, with the street man insulting Starlight. However, the biggest surprise came from the Black Speaker stunt. Really show your face. This is actor Nathan Micro. Whoever played Black Speaker from the first season only had a segment when he, Ninja Takeoff, had talked to Sen SG. When I was in Parks Group, and MBA is played by Figsy Clavin's actor Justin. The role is played by Nathan. Whether the Black Speaker exposed face, it affects the next part of the story. And he's metamorphosed like most of the boss heroes. Maybe we'll have to wait until next week for an answer. And that's the whole thing. What I find most interesting in episode 6, the number of posters will continue. Force Dr. Xiaomia to develop the virus, or find another way to destroy Homelander.